Printing out of Illustrator to the Risograph is a little bit more complicated than saving out individual color separations from Photoshop or Spectralite. Illustrator needs to do the hard work for you. So it's not a matter of just saying print right to the Risograph. No, it needs to actually separate its colors. And to do so, we actually have to have a series of steps. We do print, but we are actually printing to a PostScript file. The PostScript file then gets sent to Adobe Distiller to create the PDF. And it needs to do this because what it has to do is take the two colors that you're using, or three or four, however many colors that you're using, and it needs to turn them into grayscale separations. The Risograph does not see color, it sees grayscale, and then you assign the color by putting different drums into the Risograph to print whatever two colors that you need it to print, and then you assign it to whatever files that you have going on. So to print out of Illustrator, first thing that we need to do is check to make sure that the file is ready to go. So this file is two colors. It's blue and fluorescent pink. So I make sure that I have two spot colors, that we do not have CMYK going on in this. It doesn't work. The second thing I want to do is bring up my separations preview palette. If it's not already showing, it's under Window, and then you go down to Separations Preview, right? And then in here, I'm going to click Overprint Preview to make sure we have everything that we need to have. So I'm going to turn off CMYK, right? The bonus is nothing has disappeared, which means I know that it's actually working okay. And then I'm going to turn off the blue so I can just see my pink. And I'm going to turn off my pink just so I can see the blue. And I can say, yep, it's working. We're all good to go. So I'm going to turn that back off so I can see the regular file. And then I'm going to go up here to File, Print. Once we hit print, we need to make sure that all of our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. We have to check several different areas to make sure everything's ready to go. So first thing I need to do is change my printer to an Adobe PostScript file, right? And you'll see down here, it went from print to save. So we're actually going to be saving a file. In PPD, we're going to change that to the Risograph. Now, this only works if you have the Risograph print driver installed on the machine. We do have it on all of our equipment, but it will not work if you do not have the Risograph print driver. Right? So I check my Adobe PostScript file. I check to make sure the PPD is Risograph. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jump down here to media size, and I'm going to make sure that it matches the size media. Risograph can print on 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 17. So I'm going to scroll down to tabloid 11 by 17 because that's the size of this particular print. The next thing I check is my output. So what happens here is output means that how is the PostScript file going to say to the Risograph, these are the colors that I need to print. The current mode is composite. That's what normally gets sent to any CMYK printer. But for the Risograph, we can't use composite because it's putting the two colors together. We don't want them together. We want them separated. So under Mode, I go down to Separations Host Based. The emulsion is up, meaning it reads the right way, and the image is positive. I'm not making it a negative. I want it a positive. And you'll notice down here that cyan, magenta, yellow, and black turned off because I do not have any cyan, magenta, yellow, or black in my file. If any of these are on, it means that they're in your file somewhere and we don't want them. So you can either turn them off in here or go back to the file to find them and get them changed. So all I see is blue and fluorescent pink, right? That's correct. That's all I want to have to print. And so what I do next is then I hit save. I pick where I want it to save to. And actually, I think I'm going to go to my desktop. Don't look at my messy desktop. It's terrible. I'm going to send it to my Riso print file, right? And this is just called jars, but as you can see up here, it ends in .ps. That means PostScript. So I'm going to send it to this folder as a PostScript file. Make sure you know where you save it to. So I'm going to hit save. It's going to process it, and it's going to send it to my desktop. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to my desktop. And I'm going to open that up. And here I have the folder all ready to go. Here's my jars PS. And I'm going to also open Adobe Acrobat Distiller. Okay? You can see it here. Okay? So before I save my PDF, before I allow Adobe Acrobat Distiller to save my PS to a PDF, I want to make sure that I have default settings set up correctly. So I already have a Risograph letter default setting ready to go. It's specially made for the Risograph. What I need to do now is make sure that I have an 11 by 17 one set up, and I don't have that set up yet. So I'm going to go under Settings, and then Edit Adobe PDF Settings. In here, I'm going to ignore everything up top. Don't worry about anything up here. What I really need to focus on is down here at the bottom where it says default page size, because the Risograph only has 2 page sizes, 11 by 17 and 8.5 by 11. I already have my 8.5 by 11 one ready to go, as you can see here. I need to create an 11 by 17 one. So I'm going to put 17 in width, because that's how long it is, and 11 high. Okay. Once that's done, I'm going to hit Save As. Not OK. Save As. I'm going to name it. I'm going to say Riso Tabloid. Actually, you know what? That's the fancy word. I'm going to say Riso 11 by 17. And just hit Save. It will automatically pop it into the correct folder in Settings. Okay. And now under my default settings, I not only have Riso Letter, but I have Riso 11 by 17. That's the one I need this time because I have an 11 by 17 image. The next step is easy. I just take my PostScript file, I drag and drop it right into the middle of Adobe Acrobat Distiller. It's going to ask if I want to confirm the security, making sure that the file is trustworthy. Of course it is. I just created it, so say OK. And wait. Generally doesn't take very long unless the file's super large. Right? The next thing that it does is it pops over. If you can see in your original folder, it will throw in the PDF that it just created right with the original PostScript file. We take that and we double click on that to open up our file into Adobe Acrobat. Right? And if I go over here to the side, I can open up my thumbnails and I can see here's my blue and here's my fluorescent pink, and it separated them out beautifully, and now I'm ready to go to the Risograph printer.